What's good? You're listening to Culture Quest, where we ask the question, why are we like this? On this podcast, we explore culture, but culture that's specific to us as Bahamians, us as Caribbean people, us as Black people. I'm MCK, and I'm here with the homie from Time, Jay, and of course, our boy Proof is here as well. Like always, we're going to talk all things us. Shout out to the Solid Network as always. And of course, today we have a special guest with us as well. He's no stranger to the culture. In fact, he's giving us some super iconic cultural moments. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I just want to welcome creative, playwright, actor, and a bunch of other things. Tyrone Burrows. Appreciate you for coming through, bro. Yeah, so first of all, we
These
like to
niggas.
start. Wow. Coming in hot.
Can I just hear that?
Yeah. So as always, we're gonna start off with some show and prove. So we like to pull your Bahamian card. We like to see that, you're a Bahamian, you certified, you know about the culture, and we can prove it. So we like to pull your Bahamian cards every time. So to kick it off, we can pull Jay's stats now. What's your Bahamian card stats is, bro?
Now, if you're the real Bahamian, I'm excited for this one. You should know about the iconic
I wonder why.
I for Tanya movement. I so Bahamian. I so for Tanya. I used to work with Tanya actually. Like Tanya is one of my old coworkers. That's how much of a for Tanya I was. You can't be more Bahamian than I for Tanya. That's one of the most classic taglines we had.
I'm not just gonna say you was the one saying I for Dan in the background.
No, that was they didn't use my version. They used one other girl version, but yeah.
Wow.
So I've been for Daniel a long time. That's how Bahamian I is. Shout
You
out to
still for
Daniel.
Daniel. Wow. You was the only one for Daniel because I don't think she wanna see. But okay.
Well, your niggas cold. My
He was a
goodness.
hater boy.
Wow.
You go ahead. But
I see you.
what's your Bahamian card?
All right. I know at least 3 people that is called cousin, and ain't zero relation. But I promise you, if something pop off, but that's family, but I got them and they got me. At least 3 people, minimum.
Minimum 3. All
Minimum
right,
3.
okay.
This is Andrew's thing.
Right.
We need people to believe we related to them for true.
True. Right.
So everyone is cousins for real. I've been telling people to call cousins for years now. I mean, sorry, bro.
From time.
But
Except
my thing up for the culture, I got a one up on Jay. Huh? Run, Tommy.
Go on,
run.
wait, go on. You coin that phrase.
I just said, you hear me? Run, Tommy, run.
That was
Tommy,
you?
What that mean?
That was you?
No boy. No boy.
I can't get too much. I can't get too much in the.
You say I Tanya? You have to know what Run, Tommy, run is. Huh?
I can't get.
That wasn't the same campaign. That's the same campaign, eh?
No, that was before. I think that was
I
the
ain't
one
sure.
before. So it was Tommy T and
That
you.
was the gold rush.
The Tommy T and me. It was Tommy T and you.
I just remember Run, Tommy, run, and he ain't never reached, bro. So that was a big deal.
You never reach.
When he was the leader for all. No.
Shout out to Tommy T, boy.
So I remember.
Bro, where he is now?
He probably just living his life.
Boy,
Going to Super Wash regularly. Probably pop up by the fries once in a while. You know? Eat some
Yeah,
bamboo.
Tommy D, yeah.
We just fizzle off the scene.
All right. So my Bahamian cards that let's see. All right, I know all the potholes on the airport road like the back of my hand. I don't need no street lights. No street lights required. I know where all the curves start, and then I mean all this is driving in the dark, but I know it well. So that's me.
He's a professional. Okay.
But seriously though, they need to
You
like
live out that way?
my girl lived up that way at the time. She was deep in the cut, and I used to drive her that way all the time. So I know that way quite familiar. But they really any y'all know why they don't have lights on that road? Is there like a big reason that I don't know about?
Okay, now let me break this down. Because of the proximity of that road to the airport, too much lights can be blinding to airplanes' navigational system. That's why they try to keep like surrounding areas dimly lit so that all of the focal lights will be at the landing strips and things like that. Because you don't want somebody landing on JFK when they're supposed to be landing on Still Independent. So that's usually the reason why. And in bigger countries or like in bigger land masses, the airport is kind of secluded from like neighborhoods and stuff like that, so that those lights wouldn't be confused. But because Nassau is so small, you in somebody backyard, like next thing you know, they park Bahamas here in Tropical Gardens.
I kind of feel like you.
Educated.
I kind of feel like you're full of
Yes,
crap.
at the same time, but
The
right,
more you know.
exactly.
That makes sense, though.
Listen to me, and that's my Bohemian God. I don't care what the subject is. I can talk like I know what
subject
it
matter.
is.
It's in logic, but that may not be the case.
Use a subject
That's,
matter
that's
expert.
the culture start right there. But Bahamians will do
That's
that,
it.
bro.
Bohemian
Bahamians will
real.
tell you something straight face.
Yep.
Like it might be convincing, but you need to run for Kalani because I almost believe you for 2 seconds. I was like, this nigga don't know what the hell he talking about, but he sound like he might know what he talking about.
Listen, Bohemians only need to hear something
Yeah,
once, and they can elaborate and go from there. That's it. That's how I know it's a Bohemian.
Yeah.
I just need to hear it once, and I can talk like that's gospel. Let me see it on Facebook or
Sub-
WhatsApp.
subject matter
You say it like an
expert.
authority, and
Right.
For real.
Like, but I know what I talking about, but
Well,
Yeah.
so we all certified here. So yeah, today's episode is brought to you by Collage Entertainment. Tags on everything. Oh, sorry. No, but today we're talking about the idea of local celebrities. What makes someone a local celebrity? What sort of perks come with that? Do we look at local celebrities in a good way? Is that a bad or negative term? Is it mostly negative? So yeah, today we dive into that and explore that what it is to be known in the context of like our culture. So this one is the one about local celebrities, right? So kicking it off, like how would y'all define a local celebrity if y'all had to define it?
I'd say is about a level. I guess you reach a certain level of popularity for whatever it is that you do. I mean, in Tyrone's case, it could be TV commercials, film, stage. It could be music, it could be art. I guess any form of art, but you just reach a certain level of being known. You know,
Okay. You agree with that, Jay?
I agree to it. I just trying to think if I could pinpoint the marker. Like it's a certain level that you get to where you like you've arrived, and I trying to think about it. Come back to me. I'm trying to picture it. Like what would a Bohemian celebrity look like? Like if you had to skip the line at Bamboo or like a certain privilege, like that's when you arrived as a celebrity.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get into because I think I don't care who you is, you won't skip in the line a bamboo. I don't care if you was Barry Christie. I don't think you can skip the line a bamboo.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very like cultural thing, right? So I think we're gonna sort of get into that. Would you consider yourself a local celebrity? I can start with you, Jay, because you used to be on TV and things like that. People know your face. Like, what's the threshold for local celebrity? Have you ever signed an autograph? Is that like a threshold? I don't know.
I've signed an autograph before, but like I'd never look at myself as a celebrity because I don't feel like nobody like when somebody might know me, it'd be like how or like why like why you know me, like I just meet, like why you know me. But so it's that like I don't think I allow myself to even come close to that thinking or ever thinking like okay as a celebrity just because someone might recognize my face. And that, like the most I just get is oh you look familiar, and then I just do a bunch of things, so like I don't never know why I look familiar. I always got to be concerned.
That's
But
interesting.
it sounds like you been in some shady stuff, bro. But that's a different topic for a different episode.
I just don't know where they might know me from. Like some people might know me from like numbers. Other people might know me from like a play. So yeah,
You say
and then
numbers?
we can talk about it later.
The
So
hell?
yeah,
But anyway, Tyrone, what about you?
Come on.
Would you consider a local celebrity? Would you consider yourself a local celebrity? And if not, why not?
For me, the reason why that's kind of tricky to answer is because I know the culture, and I get you all know exactly what I mean too.
Mhm.
You have to be very very careful with what you call yourself as a Bahamian. In other words, um you don't get to call yourself a celebrity over here. I mean, I wouldn't do it if if I was anyone that's either well known or infamous or something like that. And we have a because remember this isn't like something that's new to our country either. A lot of persons know for a long time. If you come to the Bahamas and use a big shot somewhere else, the Bahamians don't really care like that. Like just for example, if you're well known, I mean, in the Bahamas, so you're a celebrity in the Bahamas, they may not necessarily give you a ton of money, but you can't die on the side of the road. If that make any sense,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And I think that have a lot to do with how our culture is pretty like homegrown and whatnot. And the thing is that that's a easy time to lose over here if you ain't careful. We saw it the other day. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say on the
Hmm.
podcast. But I just say if you go to the BM in public expecting them to do something for you, like if you tell them to celebrate you, you're like, bah. You don't tell them when to celebrate you.
Yeah.
You know, they come for who they come for. You know what I mean? I just
Hmm.
saying, but and when that happens,
True.
you don't complain about that because we've seen that with the remember when the basketball player from Freeport, man, I forget his name. And I know his name
Yo,
Yeah,
on the
Kai
top of
buddy.
my
Jones.
head, Um,
Kai
Buddy,
Jones.
right
Oh, buddy.
when Buddy got all the recognition, and then
Hmm.
say it again. Yeah, it was Buddy, and somebody decided to get a little salty about that. You don't do that, you know.
Yeah.
But I can leave that there.
That's
Yeah,
interesting though. I think you make some good
yeah.
points. I think you
We
really
you just don't ever get caught up in
yeah. Yeah, you make some good points. You really encapsulate the whole thing right there. I think the question is if that's a good thing, is that a negative thing? Is it just what it is, or is it like is it something to reconsider? Should we be celebrating? Should it be okay for you to say, "Yo, I that guy like I don't I make stuff like in mine. Y'all should give me my flowers." Right? Like, is that something that we should be able to do, or is it just like just the way it is?
Mm. I mean, you already celebrated, you know. When you start when you start expecting more, or if you demand more, that like I've seen it. I've seen it like in a number of different arenas. Case in point, I never thought that I grew up watching some persons. That's how I ended up in the game in the first place, right? And these are persons that inspired me. But if you would have asked me, believe it or not, 20 years ago, Siobhan, when he's doing the church stuff and they do, if you had asked me all those years ago, um, if my name would have been amongst like certain names of maybe even like gospel artists and stuff,
Hmm.
I I probably would have told like this wasn't something that and the only thing I could say that I did differently was I appreciated being on the team. I mean, when I went on the team, appreciated being celebrated, if that's right, but being gracious with that. So I'd say yes, I am celebrated in the country. You know, people do celebrate what we've done and what we've contributed. Um, but for some reason, I keep on looking at being a celebrity as being a star, and for some reason,
Mm,
I almost think it's dangerous to do that because
yeah.
I've seen a lot of artists, tank doing that. You know, they get mad when they don't get celebrated. You know, when they don't feel they get the kind of celebration they deserve. Me, not necessarily.
Right.
But I know the
Yeah,
Beys
that's
they
a
get
good point.
support though. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I think you touched on a lot of good points there. You know, like I think too, being a celebrity, like it does have that connotation of being a star or being bigger or better than others. And I think that's why we kind of like we ain't really love that term celebrity as much. But I think also there's the idea of like you could be known for something positive or negative. Um, like for instance, you could be a local celebrity for for stupid reasons too, right? For not so great reasons too. So I definitely get the idea
Mm.
of like not loving the term celebrity and also like being a little adverse to people coming off like they um Hollywood or whatever. For sure.
When we consider celebrities, I feel like we also need to consider, I guess, the boundaries between being popular and being respected, right? Because I could respect you and your talent and your artistry, and you out there
Say less.
being a face for whatever it is that you do. But then you could be popular for garbage, like for absolutely no reason. And I could call a few names, but I won't, that are pretty popular for nonsense.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And these people have platforms. So we have to consider respect versus popularity
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of being a celebrity as well.
That metric, and it's so weird in the Bahamas too because even to try and measure that is completely different from international. Some people believe like if you get if you up there if they saw their face on the side of a bus from like a corporate sponsor or maybe on the side of a building or something like that, they
Hmm.
expect you to ask them for their autograph, and it's like, I mean, if I don't drive that way, I don't see that building. Like what if
True,
I
true.
subscribe to a different, again, a different whoever provider or something like that. So, I mean, like, and then the thing is, if I don't, it's very, very, very peculiar. Like, it's not a cut and dry, because we kind of relate being a celebrity with a certain kind of success, and I don't know if it's the same definition in the Bahamas. That's my doubt out
That's
there.
really true. Yeah, that's a really good point. Jay, you was gonna chime in with something?
No, I gonna
Yeah.
ask. Is there any reservation for what you would want to be a celebrity for, or it you feel like it don't matter? Like once you get to that certain point, like how Proof said, we have some people that are celebrities for literally garbage. Like, does it make the celebrity different, or all the celebrities is just a celebrity, or all the status is just a status? Because we have people that have platforms literally for the dumbest reasons, and then persons like should have a platform because they or who we feel speaking sense. Much people don't really listen to them. So it's like, does it matter once you get the platform, or
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad you asked that because I actually have a theory, right? So I have I have a theory about the different levels of being famous, right? So let
Hmm.
me know if I right or wrong, right? I
Okay.
think you have
Okay.
you have the boy that boy status. Oh, use that boy, for that one specific thing. Maybe people don't quite know your name exactly, but you become that boy who's do backflips off the dock or whatever. Like you become known specifically for this one thing, right? That's a type of
Okay.
famous. And then you have the first name basis. People who you don't know
Mhm.
calling you by your name, right? Like how the hell you even know my government like that, right? They don't have to say what you know him for. Like you is whatever, right?
Mm.
Um, and then you have the local legend status, right? People know you, they know who you are, they know what you're known for, and a certain time could pass, but it still resonates with people, right? So like you do that thing back in '94 or 2006 or whatever, and people still like really, really hold you to that. That's like local legend
Mm.
status, right?
Yeah.
And then you have, I think, iconic status. They can be talking about you after you're gone. So that's your historical figure. That's your Lyndon Bin lenses. Lyndon Bin gone, but referencing him and stuff like that. So that's my personal. I gave it some thought, and I think there's different tiers. Right, you could be that boy, or you could be like an icon. Right. So, what y'all think? Agree? Disagree?
Mhm.
No, I agree, boy. I
Right.
completely agree with that your
I
metrics.
I mean that, yeah, I let him go first. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I completely agree with your metrics, boy. I
Yeah.
mean, um, yeah, from that boy to iconic, and then everything in between. That's pretty a very fair assessment of what local celebrity status could look like.
Mm.
That's a slippery slope. If you happen to be that way, that's the
Mm-hmm.
equivalent of being these nuts, right? And you all know what I mean. Got him that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I don't know if I don't know what kind of stuff I could talk about on the show because I want to be respectful. But anyone ever watch Tropic Thunder?
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
No, just me. All right. So there's this saying inside Tropic Thunder where the guy tells Ben Stiller, yeah, I ain't gonna say, you know what I mean? Never go full whatever. If you have to be careful with that because I'll say that there's a point where people see you as that way there. And once you see you in that particular position, it's really up to you to change whether or not they only see that or want that from you every time they see you.
Right.
And then you have to try and work your way up to probably being on the remember like legacy, if it makes any
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like say for example, I think it was 2010. That's when Stop Like Your Man 2 dropped. Because part one was in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
to this day, like even like during the pandemic, a lot of stuff will come and mark up and and whatnot. That was crazy to me, you know. Um, and I actually I was trying to wrap my mind around why that's the case. And then I thought about it. I thought about some of the characters that I did. Like say one of the stupidest characters I would have done when I say because we as niggas. If you'll have to bleep it out, I apologize. Yeah, it's
No
happened with the
man, this is
P,
a culture
right?
show. You're straight.
Okay, good, good. He ugly. He's talk a bunch of foolishness, but he still is talk sense in there. So it always be like a little something. And we have some cats that I work with. I tell them before, but don't put, listen, but don't act like no woman, don't do what you know. Because if you're, no, what I can be real with you all, but if your target demographic is children, they can grow up at some point. See, I pay a
Real.
lot of attention to entertainers. I tend to tell people this too. But I didn't start off doing just slapstick comedy and whatnot. I was doing like church dramas and stuff too. So I always wanted to have some kind of message.
Mm.
I knew about what his name was in the Vines, King Bach. I saw him in some of his debut stuff because he was in some of his earlier stuff with one of the guys from the team too. And that was always something that I tried to keep in mind. If it is that I'm doing something, it probably needs to have something to it that's actually worth carrying on because you're familiar with PewDiePie. You all grew up in that era too. At some point, PewDiePie stopped doing that, but he's still up there. He just
Mm-hmm.
ain't doing that exact same thing anymore.
Mm.
You see? So
No, yeah,
you
that's a
could
good
end
point.
up being stuck as that boy for the rest of your life, and nobody ever
Yeah,
call you for nothing serious.
yeah.
They don't care about your views or nothing. They ain't want to hear nothing from you. I ain't there. I proud to say that. I
Yeah.
could say that much. So if that, I don't know if that have anything to do with being a celebrity. I think it's just being responsible with the craft. Unless you okay being typecast as, you know,
Right.
somebody.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's a really good point. Like even as myself as an artist, you get typecasted for sure. I remember there was one point of my in my music career where people would be like, "Oh, this play, he underground, right?" And it's like, I don't want to be underground. Why you keep like putting underground on me? Like, just play the music,
Mm.
just play the music, and I wouldn't be underground, right? So you totally do get like typecasted. And I wanted to ask you if that. I think every creator feels this to a certain extent, but is that annoying for you? Like, I guarantee you, people still shout tags on everything and stop like a man at you. Does that get old? Is that like a little bit like old for you now, or is it like you still appreciate it or whatever?
So long as they could separate the two, it actually come in handy a number of times. Um, I ain't saying you tell me this left
Them
me or
perks,
something,
boy, them
but
perks.
and like, you gotta earn them, bro. You gotta earn. Like, 'cause, you guys got like discretion and reasonable talking, right?
Right, right,
I
right, right.
let me,
Yeah, yeah.
and the thing is, people, like, if you don't say it yourself and they say it, then it's okay. If they hear you say it first, they ain't on your run like that. Because
No.
I remember like more than a number of times, I talking about a car with the grimiest, grimiest. I mean, at least if it's like five of them in there, at least four of them, she has come out of prison that day or something, right? Or just put one down, maybe pull up, stop the car, and just stay at me. I say, buddy, not like this. Not like this, man. I was so scared, buddy. Like I say, buddy,
Uh,
because we was nigga shit out. There's five more fight. I was like, yeah, buddy. God is my witness. Let me use my car. If I wasn't in the
uh,
open, babe, I don't know what I'm so crying.
Yo, that's crazy.
They asked me, buddy. And
yeah,
that's
that's
and
why.
then after that happened, another couple of times. Right. You see, we saw it with Black Panther too, bro. If you remember Civil War, he went. Look at the pictures when y'all get a chance. He went from Wakanda forever, and you see pictures. He like he literally looking off at the pictures. The movies, but I mean,
Oh
look at my
man,
This
channel
nigga sick
wrong.
of this crap now.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I'm over this now.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. But so I guess, but like I say, I don't get too wary of it unless nothing else come with it. Because then like sometimes or whatever, you see that guys they just swing around and stuff for that before I do, and they be like, yeah, but that's a good thing you do, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And all they be thinking in my head is like, so long as I do something right, you know, I
yeah,
Mm.
ain't
yeah,
wanting money. I ain't know where that money come from. We ain't all but that money, but you know. Because someone
yeah.
had asked me to market a brand of condom and I'm for that before, but
Wow. How do you
oh
do
yeah.
that?
hmm? I said, but
How do
he
you
said,
write that
yeah, but you
script?
know that
I know, right?
he said, we know that go for tea. I was like, yeah. I said, but I want you, but I don't want to with this new brand of condom. I was like, and you all know exactly what he was getting at. Mind you, if I had a
Mm.
price, that would have been a no-brainer. Because they say, yeah, but ugly and I just needed to. I could write that, bro. But no, no way. And then this other person wanted me in a movie they was doing. Shout out to
Hmm.
him, Schoolie. Like, yeah, but I will do a movie. And one thing I let you all know too,
Hmm.
when you're climbing, who you'll meet, you'll meet some people, but, and they may see that you have a certain reach, and they can ask you some things. They don't care if you only do positive content or you more associated with the positive thing. They can try, but they can say, yeah, I'll be in this movie, so everyone could be stuck in this house playing and be like, how much niggas, how much gas, whatever. And he'd be like, then so and so got have sex, right? And then you could juice up. And then you then I was like, I ain't gonna do that
Yeah, that's crazy work.
dread.
That's crazy
Like
work.
thanks for the
I said,
consideration, but no thanks.
yeah, but we are that's a double-edged sword, and we are that explosion in social media too. Because that's when the people doing the pornography and then like a bunch of stuff happened. Yeah, that was
See, and I
crazy.
glad you mentioned
Yeah.
the social media because how do you feel like social media has changed the way that we locally view our local celebrities?
Social media help a lot, I tell you that. And however social media looks at you, and you can't blame nobody else but yourself. I'd say that. You have no one else to blame but yourself.
Real, real.
If that's you all ever been on Bohemian TikTok?
Yeah, yeah. Very,
I'm a
very
TikToker.
entertaining to say the least.
there's a section of Bahamian TikTok where a certain set of women, they just is fight all day, just beef back and forth. Big grown women, bro. Not no high school children, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But so you have a lot of people on like on social media. There was I had to do a comedy show, and they wanted me to do some impersonations. I don't always do it. I gotta be in the know, and they list off a bunch of people that I don't pay attention to because of the kind of stuff they be beefing on TikTok with. Jack. It's crazy though.
Yeah, the
I feel
internet
like
is
to have,
is a hell of a place.
yeah, I feel like to have any longevity, um, or to move from that boy status to legendary or iconic status, you have to remain true to yourself. Humility goes a long way, and
Mm.
integrity also goes a very long way. You have to be true to whatever your standard is in order to have some kind of longevity as you know
Mm.
a known a known individual in society.
Uh,
Yeah.
And then I think
You
you
just need to
transition
come in and
from
say you're doing it into money.
Right,
mm,
right.
I think you transition from that boy to a name status when you do it for a certain amount of time, but it doesn't feel like gimmicky, and then you start to branch out. So they can't just automatically associate it with that boy because for me personally, I made the transition from the bank boy to now like I was briefly like the poetry boy, like the spoken word boy, and then like I made the like transition to like the boy who's like the acting boy or what's not. So it's that like once you get to a certain
Uh,
level in like boydom, then like they start to associate it where so like they
but
can't
yeah,
really associate you to one thing no
let me
more.
write
So
this down.
you just gotta be your
Yep, yep.
boy.
We gotta coin that phrase. You
Uh,
you heard it there first on Culture
Yeah.
Quest.
So like once you start to do
Freedom,
more than
bro.
one thing at a certain level for a certain amount
Uh,
of time, then I feel like that's what you transcend into like your own name now. I feel like that's how you
Yeah.
evolve from that boy to okay, that's so and so.
I think it's complicated when you're like a multidisciplinarian too,
Mm,
because um then you have like being known for one thing, right? You know for one thing, but then you do multiple things. And so I think we very much have that like you said, a burden. Whereas like, oh, I know you for this, so I know you for that. Like for instance, I could say I don't like use McGovey name on the show. But if I
uh,
use my Govey name, there'll be a bunch of like people be, oh, that's you who's doing this. Right? I use that name for this. There's a
mm,
different name for that.
mm,
I have an artist name, whatever. But I do different things, right? And so it become a little bit weird because behemoths do like I think they like to know you for a thing versus
certain
like
thing,
you don't do much things, bro. Like you need to do this one thing. And I think being a multidisciplinarian is a little is complicated too because you are like the bank boy and the display and the other boy to a different person. I don't know if that truly ever really gets integrated unless you probably become internationally known for something.
you can. It's the temperature. I call it like the cultural temperature. Like I had the guy with the with the teeth, for example. I didn't do that until like recently, from like 2017, because I lost the prop in the US. For something we were going for a promotional thing, right? And at some point too, believe it or not, you actually do have people out here that will tell you sometimes too that they wish they could see you doing some other stuff because they actually see that you can and don't want you to get stuck. But I think what happens is when you start, I'd say whoring that talent out and you oversaturate, then people get sick and tired of seeing you. And that happened to me at one point when there was one time when during between the 7 to 7:30 block on the news. And I think every commercial this particular time period was a
Mm-hmm.
commercial I was in. And I'd never
Wow.
seen that before. And I remember seeing this years ago, and I was like, no, I don't think I like that all that much. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if that make any sense. Because you can have that, and then if that's the only thing that you are capable of, then you may find yourself in problems later on down the road when when you want to step into something else. We see people do it in entertainment all the time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they get a certain. I mean, when I saw, I think it was Ice-T in Law and Order SVU, I started believing everything in rap after that. I said, well, this may lie to me, but when he changed
Yeah,
his
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
mind, bro, that could have got me
Well,
some, bro. He said,
there
he
is
said,
defense. They
now
wasn't
all of
paying
a
them
sudden
before.
he ain't
Yeah, 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 yeah.
huh? So
That
you know,
check
like
different.
you start understanding that hey, no, this persona, right? But we see a lot of guys do it, you know what I mean? And then the other thing is too, with I don't know if you all know, like say YouTubers, if somebody want to be what you call it, an influencer, basically. At some point, if you ain't been like using that wisely, you realize that 10 years to go past, you have nothing on the resume after you get washed up or after people start forgetting you. So I think you should, just find the right people that collaborate, and you'll be good. I think that's all it really is. Like just to try tie yourself to different names that you could use. Even
Mm-hmm.
like saying a demo reel, because people are gonna ask you what can you do. Show them a couple other things, like
True. Yeah.
you know, yeah, don't just be the dread who's crying because people didn't like your music one particular event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't come for that kind of music, bro. And I know I can't say that, my bad, but someone
Yeah.
gotta say it. But some
Yeah.
things I just don't do, and because I just understand the demographic, bro. I ain't selling no rubber.
Yeah.
I turn around and be like, Bahamians don't support me or whatever because they ain't using my rubbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
See, now the
associate
thing
me
is,
with that, boy.
yeah,
For sure.
So
no,
Yeah.
but we talked about being celebrated in, within the
yeah.
culture. But then the
Mhm.
flip side to that is too being criticized, right? I feel like Bahamians, culturally, we are some of the biggest critics of our own people. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you have your fair share of stories, but
Yeah,
how
man.
one have you experienced, the flip side of being celebrated, the hardcore criticism, and how would you say you balanced being celebrated and being criticized?
I I think it came in like in a different way. People Baymax found a unique way of kind of criticizing the craft by trying to get you involved in something, and they have this mentality where they almost act as if they're doing you a favor. Um, but then like you could still kind of see like there's a subtle something in there that's not respect. That's just I think that's the best way I could put it. You know what I mean? I've never had person straight up criticize the work that we do. What I have heard is that when you're doing something that's again, or maybe someone may criticize. Anytime somebody criticize one area of the stuff that I did, they normally would say, "Yeah, man, next time, you need to do it." For some reason, people have been pretty gracious. I think the closest thing I say could get to ungratefulness or whatever is possibly doing work for certain parties or organizations and stuff that just straight up don't necessarily respect the craft or respect the artists as much as they try to say that they do, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't really care about or you or other artists and stuff at all, you know. But I find that have a lot to do with like the gatekeepers. We could be a whole lot further. That's the closest thing I could get to the critique because there was a time when you some persons I know they wanted to submit an entry to a film festival, and they were told that what they had was too over the hillish. And then there was this one time I submit something, and my entry was right there on my entry. before the official festival start. Even though
Mm-hmm.
we did what we were supposed to do and all that. So people find different ways of criticizing this stuff. Do but I haven't had the same kind of like backlash. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I haven't had that kind of backlash from anybody, and that's because I was trying to be responsible with it. But I have seen that a lot of times. Just recently, we had like a beef between comedians, and holy cow, holy cow. And then when we did Stop Liking Man, someone made one called Stop Liking Woman. I don't know if y'all remember
Absolutely not.
No,
that. You
nope.
know why?
Yeah.
I learned firsthand how being will decimate you on the internet. Long before CYC.
Mm.
There's some girls that stop liking women, and they had to scrub their whole record clean off the internet and everything else.
Hmm.
So that's how I understand Behemoths have decided what they deem quality and how they could critique you, basically. But I just have never had the same experience that some other people had.
Woman didn't hit. It just don't hit the same. You know what I mean? It don't even really work really.
Right.
But you know,
Yeah,
that's the thing about
because you
inspiring people,
see,
right?
we did, yeah. Like, sorry, I guess I want to say that they were talking about girls over there with powder up to their neck and all kind of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
these were private school girls who were off to college
Uh,
or something like that, and they had to come on Facebook and everything else. That's how bad it was. And we didn't
oh
pay
man.
anything. We never get. But that's how we learned what the image don't like, and the same as if the image just don't like. If you could make fun of what we do as a culture, but don't look
Yeah.
down on us for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nuance for sure. Definitely. I don't know if people get the genius behind like Stop Blanking Man too. Like I don't know if obviously on a surface level it's super funny, right? It's just funny. But then there is like that visceral, like just a cultural thing, right? Like you know what it is for niggas to be like, oh, we following niggas today. You know what I mean? Like you live that, like when you live the culture, it hits so different. You knew what you was doing when y'all put that together. Like you know, like this one of them ones right here before y'all drop that.
We because that's the first I guess main Bahamian name by mistake, right? Um we when we did it, we was getting off. We was getting off because we're stupid. We did the first one, people liked it, and then we saw the opportunity to do a part two. We didn't know like offhand that the whole culture was to shift. You know what I mean? The whole entertainment was to shift, anything like that. It literally snowballed out of nowhere. We didn't know that teachers was going to use it. Towards to stop wearing the tags on anything, and they stopped putting their pants in their socks almost immediately, Dread. People always ask now, say, what if we doing like a pod, like an official pod, 3 and 4, and all that? It's like, we don't have to, because after we did stuff like in Man and thing, you have people like Sawyer Boy and everyone else, they have that covered. That's how effective it was, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that come off the heels of, I'd say this much, that come off the heels of that style of comedy did have a lot. We have a lot to thank for like shows like In Living Color, My TV, or The Chappelle
Mm-hmm.
Show. Not Saturday
right.
Night Live, but those three in particular, you all should know why, you know.
Yeah, for
Yeah. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I will say, unfortunately, y'all didn't get dudes to stop liking mine completely, but the impact is definitely is definitely there. Um, and I will say, I always on this show we like to put a pitch in for the people, right? We definitely wouldn't
yeah,
mind
yeah.
another stop liking mine. Like the people wouldn't mind, bro. I just saying, we wouldn't mind it. Just sleep on it. You know what I'm
But
saying?
see,
Just sleep on it.
everybody already doing it. They already putting people on blast. See, everybody already doing it. You see, it
Yeah,
just
but
don't
then
have
you.
stop like it. And then,
But they
me,
ain't you. They ain't the originators. They don't know the
I
blueprint.
know. You see,
Mm-hmm.
niggas is the last day. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you a bunch of little light? I would give the generation back then credit for how reasonable and mature they was about changing that, the stuff. We do it now and then. Someone say, but you all need to do is stop liking man on these gangs. I say, what? On these gangs? I say, me and the two main ones? I say, nobody. Nobody. They say, more raiders
Some
or
some things
rebellion
you
and
just
all
don't
that.
touch on it.
No, no, exactly where they going. No, boy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. People just tell you that, and then they just go off and live their life, and then keep their job,
You get your
and
head bunch off now. They're
take care
like,
of their
why you gonna
family.
do that?
But you all need to do is not like
Um,
your mom, but these police. Why, boy? Why? I get to pick up police too, but I mean, I all right
yeah.
with them a little bit. So
Yeah, they straight for the day.
Trying to keep it that way. Yeah. Leave the one.
yeah,
Mm.
boy, yeah, boy. And
Yeah.
these niggas, they ain't here no more with me. Everyone after the fall rent should be a family of 10. Somebody go in the court over here, kind of stuff. The next time you watch stuff like in my too, when they say because we niggas, pause it and look at the guy.
Mm-hmm.
That shit, yeah, kind of wrong for that, but I really care. But take it to the court of play. See, that's what we
Wow.
basically doing him, but petty, but
Mm.
Yes,
right?
we
Mm-hmm.
are. Yes, we
You hear
are.
me, Jay? All
Yeah,
right. Just making sure, but I don't want to go down my niggas, but when niggas get me, remember people.
Uh,
hey,
Yeah.
before we
But we
before
can't
we
be a petty anymore. And that's what something get mad is.
no, you could definitely can't be as petty. But before we go, and I know we champion for the return of stuff like it, man. I will give you your flowers. And we talked this briefly. I think everybody familiar with you because you was that funny boy or that stop like in man boy, but they never really get to see how dedicated you are as an actor or thespian. And I remember seeing you in that play where you had the cigarette and you just was talking and you didn't drop the cigarette. And I was there like all this time you was making these little short little skits or what's not. When you were here with the whole talent that 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 getting typecasted because of that because you was that stop like in man boy and that was a moment where it's like you gotta look past the celebrity shine to really see why certain people stand out. So like even though you was a celebrity for this,
Right,
like don't let that blind you from seeing the fullness.
yeah,
So
agreed, agreed.
I just wanted to give you your props for that. Talk that whole play with that cigarette in your mouth. You ain't drop that cigarette.
He
I said this boy
Yeah.
got something. This boy got something.
going places.
So for
But yeah,
50 cigarette, no,
it's
it's all coming
crazy.
easy one.
What's crazy is like we ain't even planned this, but I about to give you your flowers as well. Like I sort of wanted to make sure we do that today too, right? Like I think when we think about you know you and your partner's contributions, like you guys is this is the forerunners to like the
Money
Vine
for money,
culture.
Jay.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's right. But yeah, like you guys are the forerunners to like the Vine culture and like the meme culture and everything like that, right? Like I often wonder if like if you knew or if you guys know how ahead of your time he was and if you understand like the impact that you have like in a creative context, right? Like most meme creators can only dream of people really connecting with something they make like that, right? You've been highlighting the stuff like in mine, but you have
I'd
the
say to
user
be
live
honest,
presentations and all of that stuff too, right? Like that's something that I grew up with too, and I think a lot of people that grew up with that stuff that was super impactful for a lot of creators.
say I was going to say Chapel on the Hill. We had a lot of practice at first, and that's where we had the edge. Like before 2010, before that, I tell people, I say we've been doing things like community service and being entertaining from like '02, '03, Chapel on the Hill. I could call names, you know what I mean? Um, Gallery
Yeah.
Show and all the rest and all that. So I've been on page
Mhm.
niggas all the time, you know. So when we did stuff like Get Bad, we was doing basically almost like the same thing, except it was being recorded for use on the internet before
Right.
monetization and all that. You didn't have to worry about them, the algorithm and all these different things.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but so just giving you your flowers, shouting you out as a cultural goat dog. We appreciate you. We still saying dogs on everything. Every time I see a dog, I just can't help it. That like ingrained in my mind. So thanks for that. And we just want to shout you out and
No problem. Thanks,
appreciate you,
Glenn, for
dog.
that too. Let me say it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
One more thing too. I just want to give credit to remember the beginning stuff like in man who had the tags on everything. Songs,
Hmm.
right? We
Yeah.
didn't make that. A fan made that after he
Oh
Wow,
saw
yeah,
part one. Yeah, and he did it. Yeah, man. He did
that's
it.
solid.
dope, boy.
Every
Kriston, okay.
you let me. Kriston.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
Mm.
Kriston.
yeah. Shout out
Yeah,
Kriston.
Jay laughing, but you know how it feel when you finally get it. When you finally get it. You go ahead.
You just
Shout
gotta
out
say it.
Definitely
Kriston
good,
for the
but
stuff
Chris
like him,
Paul,
man.
thank you so
So
much, buddy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I listen
yeah,
anytime,
man.
man.
No man, all good. Appreciate you coming on. Once again, we
Thanks for
know
having
you're a
me, man.
cultural goat. We appreciate you. And before we wrap up this episode, we've been doing this thing where we nominating people who we think are culture icons. And we just have to do some house cleaning right now. We have to eliminate the remaining nominees. So let me take a quick look at who we got left, guys. All right. So right now, we have Debbie Ferguson. We have Leslie Miller. We have Mother Pratt. We have Collage Entertainment. We have Miss Daisy, Perry Christie as our iconic figures, still in the running for the Ultimate Icon Award. And then places, we still have The Fry. We still have Bamboo. We have Superwash. We have Goodman's Bay. Yeah, we actually still have Rodney Monka as well in the People's Choice category. So
Mm.
they're getting really, really hard to eliminate now. I don't know how y'all gonna do this, but we gotta let one person go. Jay, we can start off with you. Who you make a case for somebody accident stage left? That's being.
Um, it's never easy to do this, and it's with a heavy heart that I have to be the first one to do this. I mean, we look at legends and icons, and we just we appreciate everyone for their impact, and it is no disregard or of ill will that we vote these people off. I just wanted to make that clear. So, my vote to, to leave this week is Mother Pratt gotta go. I'm sorry. Mother Pratt gotta go. Mother
Send
Pratt
your
gotta
mother,
go.
Brad, bro.
Mother Pratt gotta go.
The
Listen,
mother of our nation.
listen,
I don't even
listen.
know that's a thing, but the mother of our nation.
Mother Pratt gotta go. I don't even like red wine like that. Um, I drive through the Grove and a place was locked closed up. Like, no offense to her legacy, she's doing a great job, Governor General. But when I think about it, Mother Pratt gotta go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's crazy, bro.
Wow.
Every day you stray further from the Lord. That's the only
Wow.
female politician that can cross you up and win a game of 21 on you, bro. And that's what you doing? That's crazy, bro.
And
Who
possibly drop a duca on you on the domino table. Boy.
come on, man. Who you got proof?
Well, I'm gonna double down from last week. I even ain't trying to preempt this. I get straight to the point. I back on Miss Daisy, boy. Miss Daisy gotta go. I all for the orange community, boy. I am all for the orange community. I support our entertainment industry. I support all of our artists. But Miss Daisy gotta go, boy.
The
Hold on now.
disrespect.
Yeah, hold on, proof now. You being malicious and ill intent.
There's no ill will, no ill intent.
all
No ill
these
intent.
there's
Like I say,
all these all these lesbians. I mean thespians on this call, and you and you here trying to eliminate Miss Daisy. Come on, bro.
I know
And
she was
and
a forerunner. She was a forerunner in the orange community, right? She's paved the way for many of other artists, but Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for the record, that's two payment females y'all trying to let go. Hey, let the record show these niggas
Yeah.
trying to let go the only two
Yeah.
females on the list. All
Debbie,
right.
Debbie's still there.
But no,
Oh no. Yeah, Debbie still there. All right, so I guess it's up to me. Boy, that's a list, boy. That's a heavy
Yeah.
list.
it is a heavy list. I mean, if we need a tiebreaker,
Need some
then we
heavy
gonna have to
votes.
tie. We gonna have to tie. We gonna have to tag Tyrone in, and we need
Don't get me in there. No,
a
no, no,
split
no,
vote.
no, 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 no. Mm-mm.
Uh,
No,
Don't
boy.
get me in this.
You done been over this. Mm.
All right, that's what I can do. That's what I can do for y'all.
Mm.
We
well, we gonna
have
have
to
to
go
rock paper
ahead.
scissors this one out. Wait.
You have to go ahead and get rid of Miss Daisy, dog. Sorry,
No, hold
sorry,
on,
bro.
I
I
even
just
hold on
and,
now.
and we at that
I even ain't
stage
mad about
where
it.
it's like we at that stage where, of course, you're mad about it. We at that stage where like anyone you eliminate, bro, it's just a loss, dog. So I gonna say, I gonna go ahead and say, let's go and get Miss Daisy gone. All right. We thank you. We appreciate you. If things was if Mother Pride wasn't on this list, bro, maybe she gotta hang around a little bit more. But this is a tough one, bro. We thank you for your time and your services. Thank you for service. But we calling it Miss Daisy. Thank
One of
you.
my intentions. I don't. Jay, what happened to you, bud?
It's all right, bro. It's all right.
And then real quick, place we got the fried bamboo superwash. Gilman's Bay. Who you getting rid of? Proof.
I mean, you say as in bamboo shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, as in bamboo shop.
Getting rid of bamboo.
Exactly. Tell this man. Tell this man. Put some sense into this man. He tried to get rid of bamboo shop last time.
Who?
Poof.
Before I select my vote, Tyrone, have you first off, have you heard of Granny's Goodies?
No,
But you
but
better not say no, but mother sick trade.
But stop bringing up this freaking granny's goodies, but for the love of God.
Mother sick trade. But I gonna have
No,
to come
boo.
pick you and Jay up, and we gonna have to swing in the
when
village.
you say
Swing in the village one of these days, but mother sick trade. I gotta put you all on, but
You know how much people DM me saying they
guess
don't know
what?
what the hell it is,
I
bro?
think I think I'm seeing the store like on the side of the road or something like that. Like right on the
yeah,
road. Like if you go there, it's like a little
No,
you can't
no,
miss it.
no.
You
oh
can't miss it.
really? So
Don't worry, we can swing in the village one of these days,
I've
and we can let your days
been
Granny's
there
skunk, but
once. This was I think last is on one of my
you had to come.
they, we measuring the grease or
You had to come. What
no, I
grease,
had
boy?
the chicken, but that's the first time in a long time I blow eating chicken, but huh?
We can try to come. We can try to
It's the
come.
chicken. It's the chicken I had. And you know, but let me
It
just make
was in
sure I got enough
bamboo.
water in my system before I go back.
Listen, that's
My,
what.
I
Get back to the point, man.
Huh?
Who
all
gone?
right, all
I
right.
need it again. No, I need it again. I need it again. I would need I need it again. I would.
Say
And someone
less.
else pay for it.
I would.
So my vote,
But I ain't gonna vote bamboo out.
my vote to be leaving this week. My vote to be leaving this week in the lineup of all of the other iconic places. I say this with a heavy heart. Um, and I prepared for all the backlash that's coming with it. But regrettably, Goodman's Bay gotta go. Goodman's Bay
Goodman's
gotta go.
Bay. Hey,
Considering the
you know how
lineup,
much people mommy get their body in shape out there on that Goodman's Bay every morning, bro. You know how much
wait,
What?
wait,
workouts.
the Bay
How
of
much
Goodman's
people
gotta go.
how
But
much middle aged women go out there walking around trying to get their body in shape? How many people go for swims, training for the Olympics? You can just go there to clear your mind. I
And
mean,
when people slide, they all night.
But that even in your pick, and you rallying so hard for that though. That's crazy.
Bro, there is no holidays without Goodman's Bay.
You know how
Like
much
how you
other
have a
beaches we
holiday
got?
and not go to Goodman's Bay.
I can tell you right now. You go on Saunders Beach.
Sanders Beach ain't even see him no more. You
Sanders
Sanders
Beach.
Beach.
Why would take Sanders? Move Sanders.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
Sanders
I know,
was
look
here,
at
that was
some-
gone. You don't got to worry about
Yeah,
that.
I
If
know,
Sanders
look.
was here, that was gone.
He only take Sanders because that's his family. Don't mind that. Get
You
back,
think
get
you
back
own the
to
beach? Your mama
Yeah.
tell you, oh, that's our beach when you was younger. Now he's talking about Sanders Beach.
Now I'm right.
She lied to you.
Now my daughters them say the same thing every time we used to drive past. Daddy,
Yeah,
that's our
stop
beach.
lying to them.
Yes, baby, that's our beach.
Stop lying to them. Because I can tell you one thing. I can wash my clothes at home. I can say it again. I can wash my clothes at home. Super wash is gone. I know they washes your presses and entertains you, but they gotta be gone, bro. I can wash my clothes at home, bro.
No,
And
bro.
I'm trying to hurt your business,
Washes
there.
your
We
I
talk-
just
we
saying.
presses
talk
you,
about-
cleans you, and entertains you.
Exactly. We talk about
24/7.
iconic places. If we need iconic places to go, my vote is for the fries.
When last you be on the super wash? Watch this. Don't lie.
With me?
I just been
Yeah,
to
either
Super
yo.
Watch, like a couple of months ago when I needed something pressed.
Couple months ago. I'm fine there, bro.
That's an every Friday spot for me, bro.
I vote for the fries. My vote is for the fries. So Tyrone, you got to get in this now. Which one of the three got to go?
Hold on, no. You want to just brush over your vote for the fries, nigga? What's wrong with you? Why would your vote be for the fries?
When I think about Goodman's Bay, every holiday is Goodman's Bay. When I think about Bamboo,
Over
When
the
they get-
fry?
when they get
When last anybody have been to the fry, Rocky,
I been to the fry yesterday.
to do what?
Exactly.
I honestly can't tell you the last time I been to the Fry, boy.
Now y'all ain't get disrespect the fry like that.
Tyrone, pick one. That's what.
I could. The Goodman's Bay is a magical place to me. I have memories of the fry. I almost died out there a couple of times.
That's why.
I could leave Clifford Park. We already have that. They could get a fry.
Thank
They
you.
don't put that on
my.
South Beach anyway.
You come on here to get canceled, Jared. You come on here to get canceled, man. You come all the way over here. The fry eliminate the fry, bro.
The fry gone, boy. The fry is gone.
Well, there you have it, folks.
I am baffled. I
Yeah,
just
very
baffled
good,
like
man.
that.
Goodman's Bay gotta stay.
Not afraid. I never saw this coming. I never saw the fry going like this. That's crazy. That's how it dropped me. Wow. Anyway, appreciate you for coming through. I can't never look at you the same,
problem,
but everything good. That's this episode of Culture Quest. Until next time, we can link up, y'all.
Yeah, man, take it out. Bless up.